And this one is actually a co-op game where players are going to be playing through different scenarios. You might do different things like sneaking into a building, stealing different documents, and then trying to make your escape. But what makes this one really interesting is that it does have a real-time aspect to the game, because it's going to be alternating between the player's turns and then the enemy's turn. And then during the player's turn, you only have 60 seconds to perform all your actions. And then you're going to be going through the enemy's turn, and then the rounds are going to be continuing like this. But something that I think looks really fun about this game is the way that players are going to be performing their actions, because each player is going to have a set of dice they're going to be using to perform your actions. And in order to perform a basic action like moving or opening and closing doors, you'll just be spending one of those dice in order to perform an action, and the value of the die doesn't actually matter. It only matters that you're spending that die. But if you want to perform the more advanced actions like unlocking different doors or safes, hacking into terminals, or revealing different threats or enemies, then your actions are going to be performed a little bit differently. In this case, you're going to be choosing a number of dice and then dedicating them to that action, because you're going to be rolling those dice and trying to get a certain number of successes in order to pass the test for that specific action. This means that the more dice that you contribute towards that action, the more likely that you'll be able to pass it. But of course, that is using up more of your dice, which means that you'll be able to perform less actions on your turn. I really like this aspect of the game because it integrates a little bit of push your luck, and you're also going to be under that time pressure because, like I said, you only have 60 seconds to perform all your actions. But after that 60 seconds is up, you're going to be moving into the enemy phase, and at this point you're going to be drawing an alarm card, which is going to let you know how much the alarm increases, plus it's going to be increasing for each enemy that you defeated during your round. If a player ended up in the same room as an enemy, then that enemy will be able to look for you or scan for you depending on the type of enemy that it is. If it's just using sight to try and find you, if there's any furniture in that room, then that's going to be able to hide one character. So if you have two friendly characters in a room and only one piece of furniture, but then you also have an enemy in that room that's going to be scanning through line of sight, it's going to see at least one of your characters. Combat for the enemies is also going to be resolved using dice rolling, and for each wound that is inflicted on your character, you're going to be taking one of your die and moving it to your wound track, which means that you are taking damage, but for each point of damage, you're also losing one of your action dice, which is going to make it even harder for you in the future the more damage that you get. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of images for me to show you all of this as I'm talking, but I hope I got the point across. And if this one does sound interesting to you, you can check it out. I have links in the description below.